Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the American Tier 10 Premium Medium Tank, the M60. Now how can you get this tank? Well, this tank is 450,000 free XP on the tech tree and it's a fantastic tank. Honestly, I love this tank. It's great. Although, as always with all the premium free XP tanks, I'd always say wait till the Tier 10 sale or wait till they do like an on-track. Like I think we've got a Soviet on track now with all the Tier 10s discounted to like 360,000 free XP or something like that. And if they do a normal tech tree 10 sale, it's get them down as low as like 335,000 I think normally. I'd definitely say wait till then, because then you can get more of these free XP tanks by just waiting for the XP discount. So obviously you don't spend that extra 130 odd thousand free XP, you can save that for the next one or for the next tech tree grind or whatever. So the M60, what do I run in terms of its equipment? Well, for me, because the one thing that is absolutely fabulous about this tank is the gun. The gun is unbelievable, right? It's fantastic. It's got the same ability as the M48A5, where it can hit shots on the move like mad. It can snapshot really easily, but it's also more accurate from stationary as well. So instead of the .36 that the M48 has, it's got .33 as we go and miss a shot there. I really showed off how good that gun is. So what does it lose in terms of being an M60 instead of the M48A5? Well, the M48A5 has hull armour and turret armour. The M60, not so much. We did bounce the 268 version 5 there, but you should not expect that. It gains 60 kilometers an hour top speed though, and a great power to weight compared to the M48's 48 kilometers, which the 48 kilometers an hour is pretty mediocre. This 60 kilometers an hour is top notch. So yeah, in terms of equipment on this tank, I run rammer, vert stabs, and optics. Did I say vert stabs? No, it's rammer, vents, and optics. I was about to say I'd drop the vert stabs. Sorry, I dropped the vert stabs pretty much because of the gun. The gun is so good that with crew skills you can get it down to like 0.24, 0.23, something like that. It might even be better than that. So the vert, and that's before vert stabs, so you don't need them because this gun is already fantastic. So get the vents, get that DPM slightly better because it does have worse DPM than an M48A5 as well, and just make the DPM better, make everything else about the tank better. But I love this tank, honestly. It's just fantastic. And on this game on Hallouf, we've basically ploughed on this top corner. Done some good damage in 1800 so far, 2k there, which we've just pushed it up. And we're now taking on the big boys on this corner. Now this is a risky play because we're fighting an E4 and an E3, which are dodgy to say the least to fight against. Obviously they're gonna really do some damage to us, and this isn't the most smart play in the universe, and that E3 is incredibly hull down as we take an absolute slap from the E4. We're not going to let him get away with that. We're going to put a shot into him, but our team is coming round behind them as well. So that's why I'm also a bit more confident of doing this, because I'm thinking, well, I'm going to keep putting shots into these guys. They're eventually going to get shot in the back, so they're going to have to turn them face eventually. The E4 shoots and kills the Andre. Well, that's my cue to get a shot in. I could probably reload and fire again. I'm kind of wary of anything that might be sitting at the back, but like I said, I know that I can reload twice for every shot that guy's going to put in. And we finish off the E4. There's that machine over there, and I'm going to see if I can try and get a shot at him here, but the dead gun is just in the way, really awkwardly. I'm going to try and pop a blind shot in, and we don't hit it, unfortunately. I think that machine moved away. The dead wreck of the FE4005 there with its gun really hinders our chances of shooting that machine. But here's where the mobility of the M60 is really great, because you can just put it in gear, get going, 60 kilometers an hour, easy, and you can really chase after the damage. It's a lot easier to chase after the damage in this tank than it is in an M48, for example, because you can have that extra 10, 11, 12 kilometers an hour and get 2 damage before anybody else. Now we ended up snapping a nice shot into the Rheinmetall Panzerwagen there, showing the good handle on the move, and then unfortunately we aimed it a little bit too low on the machine and hit the rocks. Now that machine could kill us, so it's about being a little bit careful, but I actually don't think he's firing at us. Oh no, yeah, he's come around the corner. I'm thinking, oh, okay, I'm dead here. He actually shoots our friendly machine there, who's got the hit points to take the shell, and actually he's fired his whole lot, and we finish him off. And there's only one tank left, and it's artillery. Well, where does artillery hide in this game? Usually in that corner or in front of us at D0. And because we've got a guy already at A0, I'm gambling that the artillery isn't up there. So what we're going to do is plough this way as we look at that sick drift quality. As we drift there to get around here, and hopefully we'll get a shot into this artillery. I really hope that we don't get caught out by him. And in fact, he's actually looking our way. And it's like, oh god, that's me dead. But he doesn't actually fire. He doesn't fire, so that means we're just going to take the risk. We're going to come over the top, auto-aim the shot, and finish him off. We'll finish that game with a nice total for the M60 of top 6 kills, 5.1k damage, 837 assisted, ace tanker, high caliber, top gun. Pretty decent game for a tier 10 tank. And honestly, this tank is just fabulous. 1644 base XP as well. And it's one that I really do enjoy. It's like one of those tanks where if I'm not having a good day, if I'm not having a good time on this game, I just go, oh, you know what, I'll take out the M60 and we'll see how we get going, because it's like just glorious. You know, the gun doesn't often misbehave. The mobility means you can be aggressive and get to those key positions. The armour isn't great, but it can just ricochet shots, which is nice. Like I say, you shouldn't rely on the armour of the M60 because it will let you down more often than not. Especially more often than the M48. The M48, you can rely on the turret armour here and there, especially when you hull down. This, not so much. And this has a giant cupola, which can be a pain in the backside. But it can bounce it every now and then. So, the next game, we are on Abbey. And it's everyone's favourite map. One that we don't see every 3 or 4 games. And what I'm going to do is, from these wonky spawns, take an aggressive position. Now, this was actually a little bit earlier than one of the fix updates, or whatever you want to call them, and we actually spawned in a different place. They've changed the spawns now for these wonky spawns, and we actually spawned from our spawn at K5, so more in the middle. But basically, beforehand, you could rush to this position I'm in now, and anyone that was trying to climb into the Abbey itself, you could just wreck. There was no hope for the enemy team. If your team pushed the Abbey enough and had people causing a crossfire, they would really struggle to take it because you just wrecked them. So we didn't actually spot anyone really going up into the hill though. We ended up getting that light tank and that was it. But we decided, well, if there's nothing really there, we're going to push this flank over here. And we found this 277, there's me and this M48 120mm, and we're going to just try and wreck this guy. We try and track him, and unfortunately we don't track him, but we do pen him. And there's the armour on the M60, like I say, not exactly reliable, but it can bounce shots. We come around the corner, we track the M48 120mm, and unfortunately he repaired before the waffle started to unload. We get a nice shot into the 277, and I'm just trying to time it with my reloads, because the reload on this tank, you know, it isn't as good as the M48 A5, isn't as good as the T95 E6, but it's still quite nice. It's better than the M48 120mm by about half a second. And yeah, to be honest, it's like the M48, when I always say the M48 120mm is like the worst of the pack of the American mediums, I say that because it's not really got anything going for it, because it's, you know, the M48 A5's got better armour, better gun, better DPM. The T95 E6 has got better mobility, comparable armour, better gun, better DPM. This has got better mobility, better gun, better DPM. Armour is not as good as that tank, but then it's, you know, it's not that much worse either. And it's not funny how much better this tank is than that tank. And this is definitely a very good tank, and I don't know, I can't really love it. And as you've seen in this first 3 minutes, we've managed to rack up 4.2k damage and really rifle through the enemy flank there. And now the enemy are in our base. We've got to go back and defend it because, you know, otherwise we'll lose. And as we're coming up on it, we find this guy around the corner. and it's a machine, and he's literally just blown his load. So we have about 20 odd seconds to put as much hurt into this guy as possible. I'm trying my best to track him, because if I can track him then I can pin him in place, but unfortunately we don't quite do it. I'm now thinking, well, he's going to reload in a second. We get a shot into his back. I know I can kill him in one more. He is reloaded. He's panicking, trying to get away, so he's missed a couple of shots, and we finish him off. And like I say, because I was wearing the cap as well, I wanted to keep moving to try and put myself in a position to be able to reset. There's only one guy in the cap. He got reset. We finished him off as well. We've got the 430, which we try and pop a shot into. We actually set him on fire, burn him out. And now we're going to plough forward looking for this heavy that is in where you'd spawn if it was normal spawns. There's also a TD in the middle, which I'm wary about. So I'm trying to sort of duck, dodge, dip, dive, and dodge, just so that it makes it harder for the E5 to hit me. I'm wary, like I say, of the TD in the middle. He's not actually paying attention. We get a nice shot through the side of his turret. 391. That's nearly an average roll. Or that could be an average roll. That's nice. And we finished off that T30. That doesn't happen very often. And now that T30 is gone, I can just work over this E5. And in fact, he took... I think he got ammo rack there. I popped a shot into his lower plate, and then he got finished off by the 279E with an ammo rack, I think, there. And we're up to 7.2k damage with a nice air time there. And we know where the last two TDs are. It's a Badger and an SU-130 PM. They're currently ganging up on this poor Paladin, who is really doomed. And I want to try and get that. Obviously, at this point in time, I am really confident, because obviously I've got 1,000 health. I can take at least 2 hits. 7.2k damage. We've had a really good game. 86 assistance. And I want to try and get there and work these guys over. We spot the SU-130 PM. We managed to snap a shot straight into the back of him, like I said, because that's how good the gun handling is. And I'm thinking that Badger might be back where that guy is, but he's actually still in the middle there. We get a nice shot into his side. And here I'm making a little bit of a misplay. I kind of go lower on this Badger, and this Badger's going to be a pain in the backside to actually pen. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and track him and then get round his side, which we've actually done. And he's losing health, and you know what? I've taken a big slap from the SU-130 PM, unfortunately. And we're just going to keep this guy pinned. He's actually repaired, though. And look at that. He must have got his repair kit back, and just there, that was where the mistake came in, because he could have killed us very easily then. But we got away with it. We're going to pop a nice shot into the SU-130 PM. And we're just going to back up so he can't finish us up, wait for the reload to go in, and hopefully we'll be able to finish him off. And we just about beat him to the shot. And we finished that game with 8.7k damage, 882 assisted, a victory. And we actually finished with 7 kills as well. So if we'd managed to just get that extra shot into that Badger, we could have had a Radleys, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Finished that game with Ace Tanker, Devastator, High Caliber, Top Gun. We had the Hand of God as well for like losing so much hit points and modules. 964 base XP, like I say, 7 kills and 8,700 damage. And a really nice game for the M60, which is a very, very good tank. I love this tank. It's a beast. It's just different enough from the M48 pattern and has those nice differences to make it a great tank. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.
A great success!